you see the information into the maps. So you see the general standard map loading. So as I said in that map class, so these dot maps, so we already defined the map object in top of this application class. Is a map class from the OpenLayers maps, and then you define your you define your maps. Your target is maps. This is the target you have to need to use here into the your HTML page. Just mean this is a class target, and you need to respective CSS file here. I will talk a little bit detail about here. So let's finish this class implementation business part of the application. So I load the maps. Where we are. So I load the maps and get the map positions, and to see some extra information here, the default control of the maps, and OpenStreetMap loadings, and the tiles, and the OSM maps loadings. And this is the view that I said. This is the center of your maps, and let's look like here. Center of the maps, your applications, like when you start the application and see the center of the application, or you can here plus minus. Yes, it's zoom in and zoom out based on your center location where you fix it. So so here's the zoom level. You see the center of the positions, and this is 13 zoom levels. You can fix it depending, that's I say, depending on how much area need to be covered for this application, or is a complete city, then you need to be zoomed down. Or if you have really small application, maybe 1 kilometer by 1 kilometers, if you have a 50 kilometer or 50 kilometer, depending how you would like to see the detailed information when this application started, the zoom level need to be seen. So I have some style informations when I build my polygon object, like for the buildings, plots and floors and units. Then there's a default combination of the styling information. So you can build your own style script, and then inject those style script into your respective features. So even though I built it here, I didn't use it at the moment yet, but in the future I needed this one. When you click one of the object, like the plots or polygons, and then you see how it's a beautiful skin into the pop-ups, even though in the sidebar. So here the vector layers, we define the vector layers with the vector sources, and the target is maps, and then features and style. You see that we define the styles and the features layer, and then ID and features selected ID, this one. So define the polygon style layers. So we define our own polygon style layer. That's I see it here. You see the black colors of the polygon layer. See the line of the polygons, black colors, and the points of the every polygon coordinates, points and nodes is a red colors. So it's in nodes color. So we see the coordinates points. Select the coordinates point, very fast coordinate points. We're gonna mark it as red points, and then build our lines from the respective coordinates points. So here's some example here. So some point generation, how can you build your points, and here how can you build your lines geometry, and then this is one of the examples. So line geometry, you need at least 2 coordinate points from 2. So you build as the perspective. So you see that one of the object I created here. So this is the line string geometry class, and you input your own models. This is one of the example that I will try to show you how it works inside your class. So you extend your interface, you define one interface before your class implementation or definition. You define you can use it this way. But for our real case, it will be the own definition model from here. This is the models that we try to define it here. So let's see how this part, what geometry we did. We have here some geometry I built, like here line string for the electric cable, electric line or gas lines or water lines, internet, TV lines. You can see in the present with the line geometry. So a plot normally it's like I put it here 5 geometry in the plot geometry, buildings, floor, and unit as a polygon geometry. So I have still here the default object, and then so on and so forth. So which part I need to be discussed more detail? This is the most part. So this is one of the example that I said. It has very fast coordinates. last coordinate same. This is true. It has 4. That's true because coordinate need to be close. So you store the coordinates points. That is the question. Now I will extend how can you pick the coordinate point after clicking the points. That's I already discussed last screencast. But when I did to the build the forms, real form to do the CRUD operations, create, update, delete operations, and then at that time I need these features. When I click, every click, record my coordinate points, and when the click is done, then it automatically close the coordinate point, build my respective coordinates for building the polygons, means for the respective buildings or plots, buildings, flora units. So this is, you need to be really take care from the features, from the polygon feature geometry with respective properties. So this is our geometry. That's we define our geometry definition here, location and coordinates, and this is our models. Where is coming from our models? Exactly, this is our models. So this is the models we try to see into our maps. When someone click somewhere here, doesn't matter where he clicked, he can see it, we can do it. Because here is one of the simulated data, you can see the impact, even though, and I will show you this is you can change it later. So that means this is our exactly the models. If the requirement says when you mouse over here, you can see the pop up here somewhere, or someone said, okay, I click it here, then I can see my information here. That's the idea. Depending, but it's implemented. What the model is defined, what's the attribute is defined, what need to be presented. Maybe some customer says I need only this user X has only allowed to see the plot ID, plot code, plot name and type, nothing more. Then even though you can control those models, even though the user management systems, that means the user logged in, you can, this is the UX user, you are allowed to see this part of the application. Those type of control when this did the validation and all the privileges from the user management. I will show you when I did this stuff. So that's, you get the idea. What I have in own models, I put my information. This is the hard coded, or I mean the simulated model. So it has ID, it has address ID, user reference ID, code, and then blah blah, and so on and so forth. So you define your features with your own models, and then here it doesn't matter how much you try to, you can put it like 5 or 6 objective, like you have a plot information, address information, doesn't matter. It's a free, it's up to you how you design, how you model, or how you implement your features with the geometry. And when you read it, I will show you how is reading it down. And transformation coordinates points. So we have a coordinate points from different projection system. You transform from coordinate from this projection system to this projection systems, and then you generate the vector source from the features class features, and then define your vector layers with the vector sources. So you define here the vector layer here, and then this is the style that you define. That I said, this is your own style when you present your polygons. So black, red, white, doesn't matter what it is. So this is your own custom. You can fill it, you can stroke it, or doesn't matter how you can see or how the user can see. Here see the circle, when each polygon nodes point need to be circle, maybe they're not solid, or you just like without solid circle information, maybe bigger or smaller, doesn't matter. Maybe some customers say, no, I don't need the node points of the polygons. Depend how it's, but you can control those information by programmatically, by styling. So you define it here. So this is the add layer. So I have a small on click function that I said it here. They click it here, click this information, change the information, and it depends which are, because I said it is the fixed values. You can see the center coordinate and then click it, change it. So, and here some extra, when I click it, you can get the central coordinate points, and even though you can mouse over, or then you can see the coordinate points in somewhere in some part of your application, see your mouse clicking and moving the coordinate points. So from the last feature class, because this is the one of the example how we do in the future. That's the example. So we have a data set into the database, PostGIS database. We read the data from the Microservices